So right now you're landing your backflips like this. Well, I'm going to teach you how to land them like this. So if you don't already know how to do a backflip, 1 second. Alright, I got it. Click right here, watch the tutorial, and find out how to do a backflip. Alright, hopefully you already know how to do a backflip. This video is really just to teach you how to make it better if you're not doing it very well right now. So first we're going to start with your feet. You want to make sure that you're on the balls of your feet, because that's the part of your foot that gets the most spring. So you want to make sure that you're on the balls of your feet so that you can jump the highest. Because if you try to jump on your heels, you can't go that high, but on the balls of your feet, you go a lot higher. Make sure before you try to do a backflip you stretch out completely, because it'll help a lot and it'll make you feel way more comfortable with actually doing the backflip. You don't want to bend your legs down too far, because if you go all the way down here, then it's just a lot of extra energy that you don't need to waste. Alright, I went like the same height, only on the first one I just bent my legs a lot more, and it just uses more energy, and it's really just a waste of time. You still want to make sure that you bend your legs enough, because if you just go, you know, that doesn't really give you a lot of height. You want to make sure that you're going about 45 degrees. It just depends on who you are. A lot of people like to go down a lot more. They feel better doing that. Some people like to just do a quick little pop up. It really just depends on who you are and what you feel comfortable with doing. Make sure that you swing your arms, okay? If you just jump up, then you're not going to get a lot of height, because watch. Alright, I'm in the air way longer. You want to make sure that you swing your arms. That's where you're going to get most of your momentum from. So when you bend down, your arms go back, and then as you jump up, your arms fly up. You want to make sure that you're really throwing your arms up in the air. You're not just setting them up. You want to make sure that you throw your arms up in the air so you can get the most height. Try to keep your head straight, because your body goes wherever your head goes. So if your head goes straight back, your body's going to go straight back. But it's important when you're doing the backflip, you go straight up and then tuck. A lot of people like to just throw it back and they can land it by doing that, but that's not the way I like to do it, so I'm going to teach you the way I like doing it. And for me, that's just jumping straight up and then tucking. You want to make sure that you pause just a little bit when you're in the air, because if you just jump up and tuck right away, you're not going to be going any up higher. So the thing is, if you have really strong legs, I know people can have really strong legs, jump up, and they have enough upwards momentum to actually tuck and keep going, but that's not going to be the case for a lot of you. So you want to make sure you go up in the air, and this is probably the scariest part of the backflip, just going up in the air, waiting just like 1 second. You don't want to wait too long, because then once you start coming towards the ground, you know, it's probably a little bit too late and you're not going to land it very well. So you want to make sure you don't just jump up and tuck right away, because that's going to mess the flip up. You want to make sure that you jump up and then tuck. Okay, it's important to get the timing right, because when you finally do that, you'll find that you're landing your backflips way cleaner. Okay, the tuck is probably the most important part of the flip. You want to make sure that you're not just tucking here, because that's really not going to be enough. If you can, you want to try to make your knee actually touch your chest. I personally grab my shins. A lot of people like to grab the back of their thigh. I like to grab my shins, because the thing is, when you grab the back of your thigh, your leg's all open. When you grab your shins, you know, it's completely closed, and I think you can make a tighter ball. So make sure that you're on the balls of your feet, you have a good arm swing, jump as high as you possibly can, stall for just 1 second to make sure that you get your maximum height, and then tuck as tight as you possibly can. You want to make sure that your knee can get as close to your chest as possible. When you land, make sure that you land on the balls of your feet, because the thing is, if you land on your heels, I mean, you'll just know. Naturally, you're going to land on the balls of your feet anyway, because that absorbs the most shock. That way you're not dealing with like really bad joint damage whenever you're doing a lot of backflips, because when you do one backflip, it may not have a huge impact on your joints, but when you're doing it all the time, it just builds up and it's really bad for you. So you want to make sure that you're landing as softly as possible. You want to make sure that when you land, you bend your legs a little bit so you can absorb the shock, and just emphasize on landing softly. Alright, I'll go through this one more time. You want to make sure that you're on the balls of your feet so that you can get the most spring. You want to make sure that you're only bending your leg about 45 degrees, more or less, just depending on who you are. And you want to make sure that you have a really powerful arm swing so you can ensure that you get the most height. Make sure that you stall in the air just a little bit. That way you can ensure that you're as high as you possibly can get before you tuck. And when you do tuck, you want to make sure that you're in as tight of a ball as possible. So the tighter the ball, the quicker the rotation, and the easier it's going to be to land the flip. When you land, make sure you land on the balls of your feet, bend your legs a little bit so you can absorb the shock, and that's it for the backflip. The backflip is a very simple move. It's just a jump and a tuck, but if you do it right, it can be very, very simple. So I hope this helped you out. If not, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below and I will be sure to answer them. Drop a like on the video if it did help, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you next time.